Welcome to the dark side. Mwah. Cha 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 cha. Who's there? Who's there? Who's there? Hey guys, it's just me. It's just me. Your host Crystal. I just had a question. You know that feeling you get when your hair is trickling in the back of your neck? It feels real weird and creepy, like somebody's watching you or somebody's in the room with you but you just don't see anyone. Yeah, that creepy feeling. Well, today we are going to talk about some astrological patterns in some infamous serial killer's chart. They share the same type of patterns, and you just might get that creepy feeling. Let's check it out. See, the saying goes, there's only one thing that's creepier than a peeping Tom. Okay, it's my saying, but still. That is the welcome to the Creepily Accurate Astrology podcast, where we discuss tools of empowerment, ways to raise your vibration, and the accuracy of astrology, and how empowering it is and how eerily accurate it is. This is your host, Crystal Jackson, and we are glad to have you come on in. Let's get started. You're a little late, but better late than never. Oh yeah, by the way, did I mention this is where we speak empowerment, tools to raise your vibration through astrology, and we also talk about the accuracy of astrology and how creepily airy it is. All right, today we're going to start the episode off with our transits for the week, astro prediction and patterns. Then we are going to get into something a little crazy. Whoa. It is called the Astrological Autopsy, where we break down the uncanny events in a chart, the patterns, the astrological placements, aspects, all things that are hidden. When we get there, we're going to get there, and we're going to get there. Let's get there. All right, my friends, this is the transits for the week of November the 1st through November the 7th. So we had three. It was a lot of things going on in the sky, but we're going to talk about three. The first one would be the new moon in Scorpio, which is no longer in Scorpio, but the new moon is pretty big. That's where you're going to set your intentions at. You're not going to, you don't act on it. You don't make any moves. You just sit there and you set the intention. That's what the new moon is all about. Sit your ass still. Set the intention. All right. Okay. Now, Scorpio is about transformation and rebirth. So you're going to be setting the intention for transformation, for releasing old and in with the new, and shedding what no longer aligns with you. And I'm with that, right? So that is how you work with that energy. You sit your butt still, sit your ass still, sit your tushy still, and you set intentions, and you maybe meditate, maybe set an intention for what you want to get rid of. Okay. Now, speaking of now, the moon is actually in Sagittarius now, which, your girl's a Sagittarius moon. But that ain't one of the placements. I just wanted to say that. Okay, another placement is Mercury in Sagittarius. And this happens on the 2nd. So, what is Mercury? Mercury is our mind. No, Mercury is our thinking process. It's how we receive information. It's how we give information. It is how we think and move about on a daily basis. It is our transportation. It is our electronics, movement. Oh man, I be having a blast doing these podcasts. And Sagittarius is about freedom. It's about optimistic. It's about higher learning, direct, honesty. It's about, hey, get off of me. I don't want to be held down. I need my freedom. So when you got Mercury and Sagittarius, you're going to be thinking big ideas, big thoughts, higher learning. You're going to be thinking optimistic. You're going to be thinking of ways to free your mind and free yourself. Okay. Also, Mercury also represents young males, really. So you may find perhaps a young male in your company who's adventurous, optimistic, a little reckless though, very talkative, maybe intelligent, real good. He talks real good. He can probably talk you out of something, if you know what I mean. You know what I mean? I got he'll be all fun and big with ideas, if it is. Or it could be some paperwork, meticulous paperwork at that. And why? Because Mercury is about paperwork also. And Sagittarius doesn't like little meticulous things. Sagittarius said go big or go home. So you might be faced with some. And trust me, I am literally faced with meticulous duties. Not all paperwork though, but like paperwork, but it's on a computer. And when I tell you I am a Sagittarius moon to the heart, I'm like, oh my gosh, I'm really having to breaking this down. Okay, I'm gonna do this for an hour, take a break, then I'm gonna come back and do it another hour. Yeah, so that'll be the Mercury and Sagittarius. And how you deal with this energy, just let free your mind and the rest will follow. You feel me? Don't hold back, baby. Free your mind. Let them thoughts go. And if you run into that friend, that young male, don't take him seriously. Not right now, okay? If you want to have fun, go ahead and go on that adventure. But do not make this a lifetime thing. I don't think you should. That's just my opinion. But I want everybody to be happy, so do what you feel. Okay, and then you got Mars and Leo. Now. It's funny that Mars is in Leo because, and this is on the 3rd, which is today, which is kind of a little bit, a tad of what we're going to see in these charts, okay? Leo is confident. Leo is expressive. Leo is about self. Leo is adventurous. It's all about me, Also kind, charismatic. It's great qualities. I mean, I'm a Leo rising and a Leo sun. So it's not like I'm just putting a Leo down. But Mars, I'm saying to say when Mars is in Leo. So, I'm sorry, 1 second. So Mars is aggressive. It's passionate. It's direct energy. It's our focus. It's our sexual drive. It's our anger. You know how they say the same fire that can light your house and warm it up is the same fire that can burn your house down. That's kind of what we would be dealing with. So Mars and Leo is, coming off very strong, probably extremely dramatic, very direct, very what do you call that? Animated, very open. Like if you're like the shy type and you have Leo in one of these houses and Mars is there, you ain't gonna be shy no more. Not for a minute. So yeah, it's also charming. Like it's, hey, you're right. It's not bad, depending on what aspects and stuff is to it. But it's definitely, your face energy. I'm here. You know what I mean? You ain't no sit me to the side. Fuck all that. That's what Mars is saying in Leo. See, Mars is in Leo. I'm a Leo. And where is that? That's in my 12th house. It's like, what? I'm dramatic. What? I'm ready to fight. No, I ain't ready to fight, y'all. But yeah, it could be fights and stuff too. 2 fire signs, baby, that goes hard. Excuse me, I'm chewing some gum. Okay, so that would conclude the transits for November the 1st through the 7th. Now, watch me as I tiptoe. Watch me as I tiptoe through the window of the creepy accurate. No, I'm just joking. Okay, guys, we're going to move on to the meat and potatoes. Okay? Now let's talk about these placements that these 8 infamous. Hey guys, I'm being so silly. I know it. I know it. You know, when you be podcasting sometime, it's about having fun too. Really. Like, nobody wants to be talked at all day and, hey, guess what? This is this. You know, I'm doing like 3 or 4 podcasts, so I got to have fun. And as long as I get the message across, we can have a little giggles and laugh. What's the harm? YOLO. We're gonna live once. All right, so let's take a look into the shadows of astrology. Have you ever noticed the pattern that pops up in the chart of some of the most infamous people in history? Today, my friends, we're doing the astrological autopsy. We're diving into the haunting placements that seem to follow some of the darkest stories. Welcome to the Astrological Autopsy, where we uncover uncanny charts connections that even seasoned astrologers can't ignore. Who's there? Who's there? Who's there? Who's there? So now that we're here, guys, this is the segment where we do dive deep into a specific or lesser known aspect or transit or pattern in astrology that has an uncanny reputation for showing up in certain lives. Now remember, it is a lesser known placement, aspect, pattern, transit. You dig? Because baby, in the astrological autopsy, it is all about dissecting a chart to reveal the hidden and sometimes eerie insights astrology can uncover. Dun 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 dun. Now, friends, listen up here. When I was looking in the chart of the 8 notorious serial killers, the patterns that I seen, they could not be dismissed. It was certain signs, debilitations, and placements. Like, for instance, either Pluto was detriment or Mars was conjunct malefic planets. It was repeated often in the charts. Today, we'll explore these patterns and see if they're truly creepily accurate or just a coincidence. As a reminder, a disclaimer, and anything else you want to put. Not everyone with these placements has a dark path, but these are just fascinating patterns that we cannot overlook. Please remember that, y'all. Please don't go as soon as oh gosh, they're a killer. Don't, okay? I have so many Scorpio risings in my family, and moons, Scorpio moons, and Marses, and all type of stuff, okay? This is so much more in the chart. All right, so let's dissect the weekly focus of Pluto and Mars placements in these charts. So we're going to begin with some common themes we see in charts that carry heavy or transformative experience. Now, let's talk about Scorpio Rising. I'm going to spend a few seconds on here. I really thought that it was Scorpio Rising that was the main factor here, right? Because Scorpio Rising, they often exude intensity and mystery, attracting others with a powerful presence. However, this placement can also bring darker fascinations or the need for control, okay? But let me tell you what I noticed. And this is just me. When I was studying charts and stuff, I'm still studying charts in the process of my studying, in the process of my healing, in the process of my studying, I had noticed that a lot of females that have Scorpio rising have been abused in one form or another, not physical abuse, okay, the other type. Rather, it was one, majority of them were just this one time. But it was one person who was a kind of a common thing. The house makes a difference too, depending on what house it's in. Also, I noticed Mars in Cancer shows where women have been abused, but it's certain degrees that Mars be in. But definitely, it was like 4 or 5 charts off rip. These people I knew, the women, Scorpio rising, and they had been, especially with Scorpio was rising and Venus was debilitated in his chart. It's just almost like I could just look in the chart and see that. Now I just asked, have you ever, and they, how you know, that's kind of how, like, on point it was, but definitely Scorpio Rising. But Scorpio Rising in these charts isn't the main factor. You're not going to believe what it is. Okay, so now I did Pluto and Leo. Pluto and Leo was one. It was a little common, because the placement, it shows a deep drive and a need for influence, control, or recognition. So, okay, you have Leo, who is all about me. It's very expressive, dramatic, like it's all the attention needs to be on the Leo. And then you got Pluto, who's very intense and a need for power and control. And usually they're able to keep it in. But when you got Leo, Leo's not going to allow that. Leo like, oh no, out with the bullshit. We doing this. So it gives that energy, that power, control, that arrogance, that tyrant. It's like a tyrant. Not all the time. Not all the time. Okay? It's certain aspects that's involved as well. I'm just talking about these certain patterns that I see. Okay, Pluto and Leo, it also can highlight powerful struggles, obsessions with legacy. Okay? So Pluto and Leo were a common one. All right? And then you had a debilitated Pluto. A lot of the placements were debilitated. A lot of the charts, Pluto was debilitated. And what I mean by that, it was in a sign that it doesn't like to be in, it's not comfortable in. So you have, when it's debilitated, it's either detriment or it's in fall. When a planet is in a detriment sign, that means it's not really comfortable. It's like going over your friend's house for a sleepover. Then you got fall. Fall is like going over your enemy's house and having to stay. Okay, so they don't like that. All planets have a place where they're not comfortable. Sign. They have a sign where they're detriment, and they have a sign where they fall. They have a sign where they exalt and domicile. Them is the good placement. But we ain't talking about that. We're talking about the debilitated, the detriment. So Taurus, and what is the other one? Hold on, guys. It's not Virgo. I got this. Libra. So, now, Taurus is stability. It's reliable. It's intentional. It's practical. It clashes with that Pluto transformation energy because Taurus does not like to change. Taurus has a hard time with letting go of things. That mind. And Pluto like, we got to let this go. We got to go. So these energies are clashing. And it's making this person resistant to change, which giving them control issues or intense fear of loss, which can lead to extreme behaviors. You know what I mean? The psychological implication would be it can run deep. So it can sometimes manifest as jealousy, possessiveness, or fear-driven actions. All right? So when you have Pluto in Libra, Libra is fair. Libra is balance. Libra is harmony. Libra wants to make sure the scales are balanced. It's about love. I love you. You love me. We're as happy as can be with a great big hug and a kiss. Something like that. Pluto said, no, it's no harmony and balance. No, there's some got to go. So then you got this super intense control energy, and then you got this nice balanced Libra energy, but here come Pluto coming in, and it's more than likely very, very, very passive aggressive, but to the point where you're holding in these intense emotions that you really feel, and you're not letting them go. It's going to come out one way or the other. And in this point, you're going to have maybe a lot of issues in your relationship, the way you discuss your conversations with your partner and shit. Now, I guess I shouldn't even bring up, I shouldn't bring that up, because there was not any one of these planets in fall. It was none in Libra. I just wanted to let y'all know that Pluto falls in Libra. Again, Pluto's about destruction. It's about tearing down the old in with the new. And Libra wants to balance things out. Libra wants harmony. Libra doesn't want to destroy anything. Libra wants to build. and, you know, communicate. And Pluto doesn't want to communicate. Scorpio, Pluto, like, get out my business. I just came here to destroy some shit and help you get rid of all this old stuff and build some new stuff. And Libra like, oh, but I love you. No, it's not working out. But let's go on past that, because it was none of them in fall. Okay, so now I'm gonna tell you what else I think. Mars and challenging aspects, especially with either conjunct, mainly it was Mars conjunct either Saturn, Pluto, or Neptune, I want to say. This combination right here, especially Pluto and Mars, it is intense drive. Sometimes it can manifest as compulsive behavior, aggression, especially if Mars is square or opposed by Pluto. But that conjunct was there too. I didn't see, it might have been one opposition. I'm going to get the charts though. Now, for some, this energy is channeled constructively. But in other cases, it may create struggle with anger and control. Oh, and I did want to note that I do have Pluto in Libra. And it's a prime example. Mine doesn't manifest anything like that, if you know what I mean. If you know what I mean, jelly bean. All right, so real quick. Pattern versus individuality. Let's get this out of here. Now, we might be seeing common themes. It's crucial, again, another disclaimer to remember that each chart is unique, y'all. Now, everyone with Pluto and Leo or a challenging Mars-Pluto aspect is going to turn to dark paths. These are just markers of potential energies and tendencies that I happen to see in the chart of 8 of these people. And it's not all of them had Pluto here. It's like they shared the same thing. Pluto was somewhere involved. It was either in detriment or it was either in a bad aspect. A malefic aspect, or Mars was in a malefic aspect. But one thing they all share in common, unite. Now, this is the one I couldn't wait to get to. Let me make sure I went through all my notes and I got all of them out, because you got to say the best for last. Yep. Every single last one of Pluto or Mars, mainly Pluto, had aspects to Jupiter. Every single last one of them. It was either opposition or a square. I think one might have been conjunct. And imagine, this is a prime example of when you're taught in astrology that Jupiter is a good planet, but it can behave badly, So Jupiter is expansion. It's bigger and bigger. Wherever Jupiter is, it expands. So imagine already having this intense energy, this control, manipulation, all this energy, and then you're having an aspect of Jupiter. Man, it's going to blow it up. Every single last one of them. That blew my mind. I wasn't expecting that. So, this is the end of the astrological autopsy. Now, I will tell you the 8 infamous killers. I know you would know. Who wouldn't? After listening to all this. Let's get it, guys. Are you ready? All right. Dun, 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 dun. Drum roll, please. First one I'm going to bring up is John Wayne Gacy. And he was involved in politics and even acted as a clown for birthday parties. He was no clown, guys. He came under suspicion in 1978 when a 15-year-old boy was last seen with him went missing. But it was the first time authorities took them seriously when the family tried to tell him. Soon after, a search warrant was granted to the Gacy home with the smell of nearly 30 bodies burnt in a 4-foot crawl space under his house. Damn. He was convicted of 33 counts of murder, y'all. 33. And additional counts of rape and torture, and was executed by lethal injection in 1994. Well, I'm going to check the day of that too. Not right now, but later. Okay, so John Gacy has Mars in Gemini and Jupiter. They are conjunct each other. And guess where his Pluto is, my friends? This is one of the placements I was telling you about. He has Pluto in Leo. His Pluto is having an aspect to Venus. Oh, that wasn't nothing major. But his Pluto was having an aspect to Jupiter. But it's a trine. But that daggone Mars in Gemini is conjunct. It's aspected to Pluto, and Pluto's in Leo, right? So a lot of he has a stellium in the 7th house of relationships. Yep, they usually would do it. And it's Saturn, Uranus, and Jupiter. So wherever Gemini is, that's variety. You want variety wherever that is. So you have Gemini. Jupiter is he doesn't like Gemini. Again, because Jupiter is huge, big, expansion, and Gemini is everywhere. So that's like big energy everywhere. Then you got Mars in Gemini. So this is a person who is also variety. It's the energy, the aggressive energy is everywhere, and it's conjunct Jupiter, which makes it huge. Then you got Uranus, unexpected shit, innovations, changes. Like you don't know what to expect from him. And then you got Saturn. Woof. Yeah. So yep. And Neptune is detriment. Uranus is fall. Mercury is detriment and fall, and Jupiter. Even though these are not aspects, that was patterns, but the fact that both Uranus and Neptune is in detriment and fall, but Pluto and Leo is what we was kind of looking at for him. Okay, moving on. The next is old charming ass Ted Bundy. Yep, that's who it is, Ted Bundy. So we probably know a little bit more about Bundy, especially in this generation. He was the one that was murdering all of them college women, or unaliving all them college women from Washington. I don't understand why unalive it. Never mind. We're not gonna get off the subject. Okay, so let's see what Ted Bundy's placements are. Ooh. So Ted Bundy has Pluto and Mars conjunct in Scorpio. Woo-wee. Aspected to Jupiter. Once again, these aspects to Jupiter are actually fucking trines and sextiles and shit. The other one was a sextile. I said it's a trine. This is a trine right here. Yeah. But Jupiter is also in a opposing aspect to Saturn, Neptune, and once again Uranus and Mercury. Venus. What? Venus. I'm so sorry, y'all. I messed it up. The last one was fucking Venus. It was not Mercury. It was Mercury in detriment. I'm sorry, it was. Yeah. So in this chart, Mercury's in detriment as well. I wasn't even really paying attention. I did look at that, but I don't think everybody had that. But just two so far has Mercury in detriment, has Uranus and Neptune and Saturn all in the same house. Now this is in the house. They're in the 5th house though. But the placement that I was looking at mostly is Pluto conjunct Mars in Scorpio, aspecting Jupiter. Woo-wee. And the moon is in the 3rd house. So when you got the moon with 2 malefic planets, it really makes you emotionally damaged, kind of, because this is your emotions, and it's next to 2 malefic planets in the same house. So the moon is in Libra. So why his moon, he was trying to find harmony and balance. His Mars and Pluto was in Scorpio, saying, yeah, we're going to find harmony and balance, okay? You know what I mean? That's wild. Okay, so with Ted Bundy, we've seen Pluto conjunct Mars, aspect in Jupiter. That's what I was looking at. But again, he has the kind of the same makeup as John Gacy. He has Uranus, Neptune, Saturn. He has Mercury detriment. All right, moving to the next. Okay, now I usually know my serial killers, but I didn't know this guy. This is H.H. Holmes. So this guy, in 1893, he was a pharmacist who turned a hotel to a torture castle. Ooh. He moved to Chicago and started outfitting a 3-story hotel with all manners of... Ooh, okay, he was... okay. He burnt the bodies in the building's furnace, selling skeletons to medical school and running life insurance scams. Ooh, more than 30 murders, y'all. More than 30. 1896. So let's see what he got going now. Okay, so H.H. Holmes did not have a time. So one thing about it, if you don't have a birth time, you cannot see what part of life this is happening in. But Fortunately for us, I'm not looking at that. I'm looking at the placements. The placements are still the same that day. So he has, let's see, it was Mars and Gemini. Oh, he had a detriment Pluto. That's what it was. He's got a detriment Pluto. Also Mars and Gemini again. There go Mars and Gemini again, y'all. Second time. Let's pay attention to these patterns. Jupiter is in Leo this time, and this time it has an aspect to Pluto, but it's a square, so it's a conflict. So now notice we're saying the same thing. We're saying Pluto, we're saying Leo, we're saying Jupiter, we're saying Saturn even, because Saturn also has an aspect to Pluto. Pluto is squaring Jupiter, the Moon, and Saturn. Woo-wee. And then Mars is squaring Neptune. And Mars is in Gemini again. And it's crazy, this is second place. I got Mars in Gemini. Yeah. You. But anyways, the Pluto, the sign we were looking at was the Pluto and detriment. All right, moving on. All right, here's another one that I didn't hear much about. This is Harold Shipman. So he was known as Dr. Death, and he was believed to have killed at least 250 of his patients. And this was, in England in 1972 and 1998. Dang. Well, let's see what Harold Shipman got going on. So the reason why I picked these ones, because when I was doing the research, I seen an article that just says 7 of the most notorious serial killers. So I just went with that one. And I had an extra one on there. Because I think I got a few of them in my chart, in my profile, because I be doing the research on them. So let's see. Mars conjunct Saturn. It has a square to, it's a grand trine. Hold on. Yeah, a grand trine, grand square. Like, okay, so it's Mars conjunct Saturn in Cancer, and it's excuse me, it's having a square to Jupiter, which is again in no, that's Libra, but this placement right here is Pluto in Leo again. Okay. I told you again, Jupiter is involved. Mars is squared Jupiter. And it's also conjunct Saturn. So that was Harold Shipman. All right. Moving on. Charles Manson. This is one of the ones on my chart. We know Charles Manson. He was the one that led the cult and everything. Got in people's mind and made them do that killing. Well, I don't like to say making somebody do something, but they were led astray. Let's put it that way. So he has Mars conjunct Neptune, and Pluto is in Cancer, but it is having an aspect to Jupiter again. So okay, so let me explain where Pluto is. Pluto is in Cancer in the 4th house, but Leo and Cancer are in the 4th house because I'm in the Placidus chart. So it's got kind of like Leo and Cancer energy, but it's in Cancer. So, and it also has an aspect, Pluto has an aspect to Uranus, the Moon, and Jupiter. It's a big diamond in the sky. That's a grand square. All right, and it's like, listen, when I tell you in Charles Manson's chart, I see 2 positive aspects. 1 sextile and 1 trine. Everything else is crazy. Let me look down here at the aspectarian. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. 13 sextile trines. Okay, so yeah, what I wanted you to see with his was the Pluto kind of in Cancer and Leo, and this aspect in Jupiter. But I'm starting to see that Uranus and Neptune are becoming involved too, because Neptune is right here with Mars conjunct. I missed that. And we did Jeffrey Dahmer already, right? Hold on. No, we didn't do Jeffrey Dahmer. Okay, so Jeffrey Dahmer has Pluto is, hold up, fall, where's Mars? I'm sorry, I got you. Okay, Mars is in Aries. And it is squaring Saturn, which is malefic, and Jupiter. So let me tell you how it's it is. It's squaring Jupiter too. Mars is squaring Jupiter, and it's squaring Saturn, and they're both in Capricorn. Saturn and Jupiter. Let's see. Mars, where's Mars at? Okay, there go Mars. Where is Pluto? Pluto is in Virgo, but it is aspecting Mercury, the Moon, and Venus, and Uranus is in Leo this time, and it's aspecting Venus. All right. So with this one, I wanted you to see the Mars and Aries in aspect to Saturn and Jupiter. But also Pluto, again, is still it's involved, because Virgo, let me make sure how that Virgo. Not as much as Mars is. It's not as much as Mars is. Oh, now I'll tell you too, Neptune is in Scorpio. All right, so Uranus falls, Uranus is in detriment and Jupiter falls. It's something about this Jupiter and Uranus. I'm paying attention to the wrong planets, ain't I, y'all? Okay, so it's another one. Give me 1 second, because I thought this was Jack the Ripper, but it's not. Hold on. Last and least, because it is the last, and it's over after this. Pedro Lopez. So he was one of the world's most prolific serial killers. And he might still be out there. What? Pedro better not come over here. I'm telling you, Pedro, hey, look here, okay? If I got to choose between me and you, I ain't going to choose me, all right? So Pedro is linked to more than 300 murders in his native Colombian, and Peru. At least 1/3 of those murders were tribal women. After his arrest in 1980, police found the graves of more than 50 of his preteen victims. Damn. He was later convicted of murdering 110 girls and confessed to 240 more murders. The monster of Andes didn't even spend 20 years in prison. He was released, y'all, 1998 for good behavior. More than 20 years since. Oh, my goodness. Wow. That's wild. Okay, Pedro. I ain't said nothing. That wasn't me. That was Lala and them. When Pedro coming over here, Pedro probably old now. I'll kick Pedro's ass. It's like I'm just joking. Okay. So, I really am. I'm kind of not. Pluto is in Gemini. Neptune is in Taurus. So, once again, Jupiter's detriment. Mars is in fall. Venus is in fall. Saturn is detriment. Moon is in fall. Oh, my goodness. Okay, I can see. Yes. So, his moon is in fall in Scorpio already. Booyah. His Mars is in Cancer and is conjunct Saturn. Now, I don't know if you remember it in the beginning. I was saying I've seen a lot of Scorpio Rising placements and Mars and Cancer placements for women that were abused, not physically. You know what I mean? So we got Pluto conjunct Neptune, we got Mars conjunct Saturn, and we got a nice stellium right here in between the 5th and 6th house. Jupiter, of course, is conjunct. It's a square Uranus and Pluto, and it's also in a stellium with Uranus, the Venus, Mercury, and Jupiter. And all his planets, imagine all his planets operating in a negative space. Okay? So that means his moon is not right. Not right. His moon is not able to moon, His Venus is not able to Venus. His Mars is not able to Mars. His Jupiter is not able to Jupiter. And Saturn is not able to Saturn. That's a lot of planets on top of the placements already there. So yeah, I could see that. I could see that for sure. maybe next time, not next episode, but one of these episodes, we'll start looking closer at the houses and, what they mean and how that manifests. Right now, I just want to share some similar patterns. So those are the 8 infamous serial killers that has the same type of patterns in the chart. Now, we've seen some more stuff that I wasn't even paying attention to. All right, so guys, we're going to wrap this segment up. I hope that you enjoyed it, because this will be the new segment. This will be the new format, the way I do things for this episode anyway. Every Thursday, tune in so we can break down these hidden aspects and patterns and placements that they don't know what one thoughts about. I'm gonna tell y'all everything. I'm gonna tell you all of it. All right, guys, let's close this segment now. Moving on. All right, guys, who is going to shine? Who we're going to shine a light on? This is the astrology spotlight. So let me get my assistant and see what we got here. Cabrisha, can you check to see if there's anybody who had a question or a listener? Hold on, girl. All right. Okay, so I do have one listener here for Pretend 10. He wrote in and he said, because I know some people want to know this, so just act like somebody called in. I have Pluto square Mars in my chart. Does that mean I'll face struggles with power my whole life? Now, before I answer this, y'all, I just want to say, if you guys start like commenting and calling in and signing up to be on the podcast and things like that, I wouldn't have to make people up. But until then, I got imagination. I can make some people up. Okay, so who am I speaking with? Hello, Josh. Okay, Josh, so let me explain. That does not mean that you will struggle with power your whole life. See, this aspect, it often suggests that intense personal growth may come from facing power dynamics, right? Pluto square Mars can indicate transformative experience, though, around like self-assertion. But it doesn't mean you're doomed to lifelong conflict, okay? So we can explore how to work with these energies. All right? So really, as long as you're aware of what is provided to you, then you can do something about it. Like if you hear like us talking about Pluto, if we talking about Pluto and Mars, and you hear anything that triggers you, then you know like, oh, okay, yeah, I'm familiar with that energy. Then you do things to change it. The fact that you're asking this question, Josh, lets me know that you don't have anything to worry about. So I would say to try your best to rid and let go of the things that are not aligning with you. And you could use that Mars energy and that Pluto for good, it can be a good thing, like, forceful, direct. You can stand in your own power and control. It's okay to have power and control as long as you know what you're doing with it, So you'll be fine. Especially, like I said, the fact that you asked. All right. Thank you, Josh. All right. Creepily accurate recap and takeaway. So, guys, we did a lot of talking today. We discussed the transits. We've dissected the placements of Pluto, Mars, and Leo. We talked about the different aspects. We talked about a few serial killers. I don't know how we got there, but we did. Okay. We found some of the most infamous individuals and their patterns. Yes, and it was eerily accurate, I thought. So, today's takeaway is, do me a favor, y'all. Look at your chart and ask yourself, what patterns do you see? What energies need to be understood, accepted, or transformative? Understanding these placements in a constructive way can help you work with even the most challenging energies. So if you loved it, if you love this segment, guys, it is the Astrological Autopsy. And don't forget to share with your friends. Subscribe to stay updated on our weekly astrological explorations. And a note, this is on YouTube. It's going on YouTube. I have not published it yet. If you're listening into it on YouTube by chance, if I've already published it, make sure you like and subscribe. Even if you don't want to subscribe, if you listen to it, at least like it. Another thing, I will be doing like chart and shit like that on the YouTube channel, so we'll be able to interact a little more. You know, you can comment, I'm gonna answer your questions as the best, the most as I can. Like, you know, I'm interactive. I'm not no big corporation. I'm just little on me, and I got time. Okay. All right. So I want to close off by saying we have a sponsor from Creations by Us. Hey, don't you like positive energy? Don't you like intention? Don't you like raising your vibrations? Yeah, we do. Well, why don't y'all go and check out Creations by Us, www.inspiredvibrations.com, where all the jewelry is handmade by me, yours truly, with intention to raise your vibrations. It's also promotions on there. I have a reading promotion going on, an astrological breakdown, where it's a minimum of $5 donations for about 5 to 10 minute session for either the big three, and this is just the sign and the placement where it's at, or your nodes, north and south, same thing, or your Chiron, which is your wounds. I got some tarot promotions going on, some numerology, so check your girl out, because you know why? Because that's what I'm here for. I got nothing but the best intentions in mind, and my mission is to raise vibrations. It's 1,000 ways to do it, 1,000 tools, y'all, and I got a few of them, and I'll be happy to share them. So remember, your energy is expensive. Be mindful how you spend it. And always, always, always protect your energy like the Secret Service protect the president, but not who? John F. K. All right, guys. I am out. Namaste, my babies. And I will see you on another day.